The work they do, for the most part, goes unnoticed.
They all have their jobs. They're very efficient.
The complexity of their society secret to most of us.
We can learn a lot from social structure.
The intricate connection to the planet, our food, and our lives, not even on most people's radar until now.
This is a sort of museum of hives.
At the Oregon State University Honeybee Lab, scientists unravel the mysteries of this amazing insect. They research honeybee health, nutrition, and pollination.
Each bee in the hive has a very important role. They communicate by pheromones, they communicate by dancing. So a bee can find a nectar source, come back to the hive and do a special dance, and the other ones will know exactly where it is.
Because everyone knows what their job is. If she's a pollen forager, for the entire day she's just foraging for pollen and bringing in. If you're a nectar forager, your job is just to bring. There are bees called undertaker bees. Their job is to clean the hive and put the dead bees out of the hive.
3 types of honeybee play essential roles in the complex society of the hive.
The queen is the one that lays all the eggs. It's now known that she isn't the one that makes all the decisions, so she isn't really reigning the hive. The workers are the females and her daughters. Every worker in there is the queen's daughter. So they're all sisters. They clean the hive, they feed the young, they guard the hive.
One worker bee produces only 1/12 of 1 teaspoon of honey in her 6-week life. The male honeybee is a drone.
Their only job is to mate with the queen. They don't do any foraging, they don't clean, they don't help out. It's a girl's world, for sure.
By the time, we get into the summer here, we'll have 120, 150,000 bees here in my backyard.
Alan Taransky is the president of GloryBee. He started raising bees as a boy, learning respect for these insects from his father, who co-founded GloryBee and still keeps bees today.
When you realize how sophisticated society that they run here in the bee colony, it's pretty amazing.
Honeybee pollination is a crucial element of our economy. It's estimated to be worth $10 to $15 billion a year. And honeybee pollination can boost crop production by up to 20%.
We absolutely need it for our food production, for the environment. It's an important pollinator for our crops. If we didn't have it, we wouldn't have 1/3 of the fruits and vegetables that we eat.
A recent article in the Wall Street Journal says the honeybee is in trouble. From April of 2014 to April of 2015, the United States lost 42% of our honeybee population. The cause is called colony collapse disorder.
And we test for all these pests and pathogens that are very critical.
At the OSU Honeybee Lab, Dr. Ramesh Sagili and his staff are trying to identify problems and looking for ways to protect and preserve the honeybee. Parasites are the major threat to this insect.
So these are varroa mites. It's an ectoparasite that lives on the bee. So it sucks the blood of the bee and transmits 4 or 5 different viruses. And it has been a huge threat to the beekeeping industry for the last 25 years.
But there are other problems: loss of habitat, lack of diverse pollen sources, and the use of pesticides.
And they pollinate multiple crops, vegetables, fruits, nuts that are very critical for our diet. So 1/3 of our diet will be literally taken off if these critical pollinators are not around.
In 2012, GloryBee created a social program called Save the Bee. The company gives 1% of retail honey and beekeeping sales to Save the Bee.
Runner set.
GloryBee sponsors special events like the Save the Bee Fun Run to raise money for the cause. In 2015, GloryBee gave a check for over $44,000 to the OSU Honeybee Lab to help with research.
GloryBee program is very critical because we are always cash-strapped for funding. In terms of funding, we don't get the funding that we really need to do all that we need to do for a sustainable beekeeping industry here in Oregon or anywhere in the country.
Everybody is affected by the bees. Everybody.